Tomorrow, this country turns 250 years old, and birthdays are funny things. When my kids turned 1, we didn't stand around reliving 12 hours of labor. We looked at the whole year, the first steps, the first words. Philadelphia was the day this country was born. The 250 years since, that's the life. So let's talk about that life. Here's what got handed down to us. 4 plain ideas: that we are all created equal, that we have rights no person gave to us and nobody can rightfully take, that government answers to us and not the other way around, and the one we always forget, that when power stops answering to us, we have every right to change it. I bet every person in this chamber still believes all 4, Republicans and Democrats alike. Put those 4 together, and they come down to a single rule. Lincoln said it better than anybody. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This is my idea of democracy. Whatever differs from this, to the extent of the difference, is no democracy. Hear the whole thing, because most of us only catch the first part. Everybody wants the first part. Nobody wants to be mastered. The hard part's the second one. Not just don't tread on me, I won't tread on you either. Even when I could. That's the whole American idea in one line. That's America's promise. Now, the people who first wrote that promise down knew they hadn't reached it. Some of them owned human beings, and some said out loud it was wrong. But look at what they did. They wrote down a standard high enough to convict themselves and handed us a principle strong enough to correct their own sins. They couldn't finish it themselves, but what they handed down was bigger than they were, and it has been ours to carry ever since. And that's the real story of these 250 years, one generation after another, picking up that promise and aiming it at whatever tyranny was oppressing our people. First it was a king, we threw him off. Then it was slavery, the promise broken at its very root, and it took a war, but we ended it. We wrote all men into the law, so that actually meant all men, and later all women too. Then in the Depression, we learned a man could be free on paper and not free at all. No job, no savings, nothing under his feet, while a handful of men held all the power and all the money. So we cut private power down to size and decided money doesn't get to be king either. And that's how America's life has been spent, constantly seeking, striving for the promise created at our founding, and again doing hard work of renewing it. A lot of people are asking the same question right now. Why does this 250th feel so different from the bicentennial back in '76? And I've been chewing on that, and here's my take. People are feeling today that the American promise isn't applying anymore. They don't feel in control of their lives or their own destiny. Left and right, a lot of us feel like we've quietly lost our say, like the decisions that shape our lives are mostly getting made somewhere we don't have a seat. That feeling and the anger that comes with it isn't crazy. It's in our DNA as a country to feel that loss of control and to want to fight back. But who to fight? Well, if you turn on the TV or you pull up YouTube or open your favorite app, there's a clear answer. And depending on the channel or on the influencer, the answer's obvious. It's clearly Democrats or it's clearly Republicans. That's what people are deciding, that their oppressor is one of the 2 political parties. And with each side scared of being ruled by the other, each is racing to make sure its side rules first, which means we are starting to become the very thing this country has spent 250 years fighting, afraid of a master, each side's trying to become one. Now, I don't have a fix. I don't think any one person does. This is something we have to work out together, the way every generation before us has had to. But I know where it starts. It starts the day we decide to actually mean that old sentence and not just quote it. Mean it, as I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. And when we see somebody being mastered, anybody, we go and stand with them. Not because they're on our side, because it's what Americans do. We spend a long time now looking out for ourselves. The next part is going to ask us to look out for each other. That's the birthday we've been handed. Not a day 250 years behind us, a life still being lived and still ours to keep. And there's only one way it's ever been kept, together. Happy birthday, everyone. Thank you.